Another week, another Bullocks. Welcome, everyone. I'm Omer,
I'm Trevor.
and this is O
Utsy.
Graps. We're here grappling with the greatness that was AEW Forbidden Door. We're going to talk about that pay-per-view.
Chef Kiss.
That main event, Trevor, is something I know. Yeah, as Kenny Bomb in the chat is saying. Oh, we're definitely gonna get into a lot of years at the in the UBS Arena on Sunday night. We'll get into that. We're also gonna be talking about new comments made today by one Mercedes Monee about her departure from WWE. Really going into that, not detail, but giving real insight for the first time since her WWE release into what happened, what may or may not have been said. We'll talk about it, take a listen, all that good stuff. Also going to be talking about a little bit about Money in the Bank, which is apparently this weekend.
Apparently.
We'll talk about professionals here. We totally didn't forget that until like 2 seconds before we went on.
No, we did not. Not at all.
We know what we're doing. We got so much to talk about. So guys, as always, leave a thumbs up. Be sure to go over to youtube.com/OTGraps, subscribe, leave your questions in the chat. And if you want to help pay the bills, be sure to leave a good old super duper chat as well, so you can guarantee your question is answered on the air. So I just said a lot, Trevor. First of all, how are you?
I'm good. Tired. I work a lot. A lot's been going on here at the old homestead and things like that. It's a lot. It's a lot.
The way you've been like chronicling, like the homestead situation. It's like I feel like you're more so building the house than.
You know what's funny? I feel like I am because like we have a lot of different things that need building, and I've built most of it. And like you probably understand this because you moved what, a year or so ago, was it? So you understand this more than anyone else does at this point. Dude, we have like 3 boxes still that we haven't touched, we haven't looked at. Like, we walk past it, like flip it off a couple times. Like, it's just there. And like, and then the room that we're in now, which is pretty much my office / reptile room. It's still in the process of being built. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like I said, I've been saying since I moved here, we still have big news coming, and I will announce that actually pretty soon. Actually,
well, cannot wait to hear. Excuse me, a little burp there.
But you are living the lapse in life of luxury, Mister. I saw SmackDown in Forbidden Door.
Well, see, this is where work travel works to my benefit.
There you go.
Because I was gonna be in town for that week for work anyway. I just ended up having to stay like an extra night to go over, because I was like, look, I'm gonna be there. Might as well just like pop in and pop out for Forbidden Door while I'm there. The SmackDown thing, I had no I didn't even know SmackDown was gonna be there until like.
I had no idea SmackDown was in Madison Square until it was on TV. To be honest with you, I am a horrible wrestling guy, because I literally forgot what was happening this weekend. I've been so busy with other things, I just really forgot.
Well, let's try to remember all the good times as we roll on through with this show. We got Kenny Bomb in the chat, good old friend of the show, saying, come on, big on with the, hey, man, technical difficulties, baby. It be like that. Raw ratings in the toilet. Have not seen the Raw ratings, so we'll see what happens there.
Not great.
We also got Charles and companies saying it might be too late for them to join. Well, it's okay. If you're watching this on replay, welcome. We love you. Appreciate you. Let's get started with the news of the day, because I feel like that's the more interesting piece. So Mercedes Monee did an interview recently, Trevor, with I believe it was Hot 97, where she discussed, really for the first time in this much detail, her departure from WWE, what went down, what happened. Um, and yeah, we're going to take a listen to what she had to say here in just a second. But any thoughts before we do?
You there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I was going to ask any thoughts before we do. Before we
Oh
listen.
no, I didn't hear it because it cut off. That's
Oh,
what I
okay.
asked.
I got you. Okay. That's live TV, pal.
No. From what I listened to earlier, it was a very good interview. I don't know who did. I didn't catch who actually was doing the interview with her. The name of the young lady, but no, it was actually great questioning. You learned a lot. I learned a lot, so I'm pretty sure everyone else will too.
All right. Well, without further ado, Mercedes Monee discussed her departure from WWE really for the first time on Hot 97. Here's what she had to say.
What was the reasoning that you left?
There's so many reasonings.
Oh, okay.
But the biggest thing is just listening to my heart and my soul. Something didn't felt right that day. How we were talked to didn't settle in my heart. And I just instantly knew, like, if I wasn't going to take control of my life right here and now, then I was never going to be happy there by having someone talk to me the way that they do, or feeling like you just don't belong. Like, okay, I've been doing this for 14 years, and to feel like as this low, my soul's like, no, get up, go.
That's a big decision, though.
It was the hardest decision.
I mean,
WWE was always my dream when I was 10 years old. So to be with that company for 10 years and to walk out was the hardest decision I've ever made in my whole life. But it's now the greatest decision I've ever made, because where I am today, the TBS champion, the highest paid woman in women's wrestling history.
Come on. I was
Thank
going
you,
to ask
Kev.
if that's
Thank
true.
you, Tony.
Yes.
Thank you, AEW. And I can just go on and on of all these amazing opportunities that have happened since I listened to my heart and just walked out. I walked out of that door and I walked into so many more doors that were open for me. So it's a beautiful thing. When one door closes, or when one door they want to push you out of it, just know that there's so many doors, there's so many keys waiting for you to grab to go open those doors and opportunities. So you have to go out there and get it. And know it's okay to be afraid.
Yeah.
It's okay to be afraid.
Right.
It's okay to make mistakes, because that's how you grow. That's how you learn. And these past 2 years is where I've grown the most. And it's the most fulfilling feeling in the world, knowing that I made mistakes, but how I overcome them and where I am today, because I feel the greatest I've ever felt in my whole.
So that was Mercedes Monee on Hot 97 today, discussing her departure from WWE. Trevor, we just heard, going back to the beginning of that, we just heard her kind of talk about, like, she felt like the way that she was talked to was, played into the reasoning why she left. I think just hitting on that point for a second, I think anyone who's anyone really has felt like that, and whether you've had a job or whatever, but especially when you're a woman and a woman of color in a very male, white dominated industry as wrestling has been, and for the most of its history, right? It is very easy to believe that there is a certain level of disrespect that was levied your way at, if you're Mercedes Monee, regardless of everything you've accomplished. So, reaction to that comment specifically.
I want to say that I'm shocked, but unfortunately, I can't say that. We did a piece on Eva Lise not too long ago, like early on, where we talked about her treatment. And no, she's not African American, but she is a woman of color. And we talked about how she was even treated, and which is why her departure and what she's been doing on the indies has been so important, and what she's been doing is so great. Sometimes you literally just have to try. What's the saying that I'm looking for is negating me right now. But sometimes you just got to try the water. You got to stick your foot in and test the waters and see. if you can make it somewhere else. I mean, and Mercedes is no dummy. She knows. She knows what she brings to the table. She knows in her heart how good she is. I mean, hell, they begged her to come back in WWE. Like I don't know how many people know this. Of course, you know this. She had a 10-month hiatus where she literally told Vince McMahon, like, "Look, this ain't gonna work. I need to leave." No, he threw the building at her to keep her because he knew exactly what he had. I mean, Vince McMahon has a lot of things, and we don't have time to list them, but but he knew what he had. He knew exactly what he had, and like she deserves so much more than what she was getting, and she has proven what she is. She went to New Japan, tore it down. She's in AEW, tearing it up. Like, she deserves it. She definitely does.
Yeah, and I think because like look, the story is, and again, these are like stories. The story is that John Laurinaitis, who was the person in the room when this happened, said something, and whatever it was, it caused both Mercedes and Naomi. Remember, people like to forget that like a lot of people who are very critical of Mercedes will leave Naomi out of this completely. And I think that kind of is very revealing of agendas that people have about, like, I'm not going to say like specifically who, but like, you know, there's a lot of people who are, you know, who are overtly critical of Mercedes for going to AEW, but will say nothing about Naomi coming back to WWE because they have a specific agenda, and all tribalism is bad in my opinion in that respect. But you know, that's very revealing to me. And that's why I think a lot of the criticisms that are levied against her are unfair, especially when you consider, Trevor, at the end of the day, and this is true about all wrestlers, not just Mercedes, she's an independent contractor.
Absolutely.
And if she truly is an independent contractor, then, and not an employee, which is what AEW, WWE, all these wrestling companies do. If that is true, then she should have the right to end her deal at any time. And the idea that not only would you expect someone to stay on for a deal or whatever with that BS status that exists in WWE and AEW and all these other companies, but also be disrespectful in that respect. What did you expect? And again, I know people want to say, well, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. But let's be honest, Trevor, John Laurinaitis, you and I have been hearing stories about this for a while. We have been following the product for a while. A lot has come out about John Laurinaitis recently, especially, that isn't quite sunshine and roses. So
no one Vince McMahon has been close with has come out has been sunshine and roses. Let's just be honest.
And that's why, like, the idea that, like, John Laurinaitis being disrespectful to a woman, given his reputation, of course I believe that happened. Of course.
Of course.
Like, come on. This is I'm not going to go into the disgusting stuff that he's done in the past, but, like, come on. When it's like one person, it's like, you know, I'm not going to say that he said, she said, but when it's one person, it's one thing. When you have both Naomi and Mercedes who walked out that night, and again, only they know exactly what happened, but from what we can infer, from the context she gave, it's very clear that whatever they were told was serious enough and, you know, disrespectful, apparently enough, that they felt like they were done.
What I'm curious about is what made Naomi come back. Because she had a great career starting at TNA. I mean, let's just be honest. She was doing well at TNA. She really was. And now, I mean, I know her husband is still in WWE. I know that. Now, if she came back for her husband, that makes perfect sense. That tracks. But at the same token, I'm really curious what made her come back. And it's probably the fact that John Laurinaitis and Vince McMahon are no longer in the company.
I think that's
and that's probably and honestly, to be quite honest with you, that's the main reason a lot of people have come back.
Yep.
because of that. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, as they say, as the old folks used to say. Like, it was just bad news when Vince McMahon was there. And now Mercedes is blossoming. She's spreading her wings, and she is one of the most high paid women in wrestling.
The highest,
and she
woman.
is she's the highest paid woman in wrestling. She is doing her thing, and the product she keeps putting out is, to take away from Kenny Baum, is legendary. She is a legend. She's not even a legend in the making. She is a legend.
Yeah. And we'll talk about Forbidden Door and that fantastic match that she had with Stephanie Vacker. But let's take a listen to another comment that she did in this interview. Again, this interview with Hot 97, excuse me, where Mercedes talks about the process of being on The Mandalorian while in WWE, and which I think is like another reason, or points to another reason why she may have chosen not to, or chosen to leave. Let's take a listen.
Acting, I really didn't see coming because I didn't know how those doors of opportunities were going to come, especially in WWE. And I love WWE, but they tried so hard to not make me do The Mandalorian and put me on house shows when I was supposed to film, and it was pulling teeth just to get on that show, just to be a part of that show. So these new doors of opportunity here at AEW, I have all the time in the world to go do acting and more, and Tony will pick me up on the private jet to take me to the shows and back to the other show to film. So it's so beautiful. It's so cool that I get these new doors, and I feel like it's just the universe being like, we want you to be this beautiful superstar that we see.
Well, Tony Khan obviously cares a lot about Mercedes. So shout out to Tony Khan for giving the private jet out for talent to use. But there, I mean, you also heard, I think, a little bit more context into why she may have been more inclined to leave than just that one situation. I mean, it's like a buildup of multiple situations when this happened, right? It's not just one or two things. It's multiple things. And this Mandalorian thing, like where WWE, the old regime, we can assume, made it more difficult for her to like film these segments, film these shows. Like, it obviously played a role.
There's one thing you said earlier that I think is actually more important than a lot of people that will give credit to. The contract that you said are pretty much open contractors. They're contractors. And independent contractors. And that is very true. And it's been that way since wrestling has conceded pretty much for most companies. But you know, and I know, there was a clause in WWE contract where you could not do that at one point in time. I think like Bam Bam was able to do it for a while because it was a different time, different contract. Bam Bam Bigelow.
Bam Bam was built different, bro. He was built different.
Hulk Hogan.
It's not gonna work for me, brother.
There were a few superstars in the WWF that were allowed to compete in New Japan and things like that and do stuff like that. But WCW was one of the first companies that had that clause in their contract and never took it out actually until they closed. That you could do stuff like that. And AEW is another company that allows you to honestly be independent contractors. WWF and WWE did not allow that for a long time and threatened to fire some talents for that. Like, in this new regime, that's what's changing because you have their version of the Forbidden Door with the TNA, and the fact that she's allowed to do other shows and other things like that. That just shows you what type of star power she has, and you know that she's allowed to do that because they wouldn't allow you to do that at all with WWE. WWE, the contract was a little different. But I'm so glad to see Tony Khan allow his superstars to be on GCW, to be on TNA, to be in New Japan.
Well, wait, hey, Triple H is allowing that too now. Like, you got Shayna
Now,
Baszler going
now
back
he
to
is. Now he is.
The Creed brothers gonna be on Bloodsport coming up. Like,
I can't wait for that, dude. I can't wait. The Creed brothers are so underrated. It's crazy. I can't wait to see them on Bloodsport. But no, like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, Tony Khan did it, and now that Triple H regime, he's doing things differently, and I love to see that.
yeah. And I think like one of the things that she's also like touched on multiple times prior to this interview too is like the fact that AEW, there are differences. There are clear differences between AEW and WWE. Like with AEW, you know, and again, like it's a smaller company. They don't have house shows. There are less restrictions in that respect. Your schedule tends to be a little bit more free and flexible. With that, like comes like more time for those opportunities. And Tony Khan, I think, has used that in a way for talent for that to be an incentive for people to sign with AEW. Like you will have more time with your families, more time for your outside projects, more time to focus on what y'all need to do. Like I think that's like a serious plus for AEW in that respect. And Triple H's comments about the grind aside, like I do think WWE though has become more and more open over time.
Let's touch on some of these comments real quick because people are getting.
I see people getting antsy. Takara, I see you. I hear you. We'll get to your questions. Don't worry. We just we're trying to have a conversation. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're more than welcome to join our conversation. Absolutely.
SEC says they do. We see you. We hear you. We love you. And
absolutely,
we love you.
We're not ignoring you, man. And I actually love the name because first I thought it was Chikara, but it's Takara.
Now, Orange Cassidy's out here like, what? Chikara. Oh, real quick, big shout out to the Wrestling Classic. Guys, one of the best in my opinion, the best interview channel for wrestlers to go on. Justin is an awesome guy. Met him at in Seattle for Wrestle Dream earlier last year. Fantastic interviews. He did one with Brian that like a lot of people were talking about a month or two ago, right before the Will Ospreay match. He's always putting out great content, guys. Please go subscribe to the Wrestling Classic. Shout out to you, Justin.
Absolutely.
Hope you're doing well, my friend.
Great channel. I am actually a newer subscriber to them, and great content, guys.
Yeah, and if you want a slightly shittier channel, go subscribe to Kenny Bomb. No, I'm just playing Kenny. I'm just playing Kenny. Love you, guys. Kenny Bomb, Mr. Mortal Kombat, Mr.
Yo, check out his Mortal Kombat. His Mortal Kombat content is absolutely insane. Yo, Kenny, I need a link for that game that's kind of like was it Fight for New York? Though that game is hot. I don't know if you've seen it. It looks a lot like Fight for New York. Def Jam Fight for New York. It's an awesome game.
Yeah. So guys, please go subscribe to Kenny Bob and subscribe to the Wrestling Classic, but mostly the Wrestling Classic. We don't need Kenny. Don't need Nah, I'm just playing. All love Kenny.
We don't need Kenny's head getting too big, man.
Oh, bro, that'd be happening. That'd be happening, bro. I was about to drop the big home tag, but never mind. He's talking about the tax. He's about to drop a chat. You know what, bro? Nah, all love. It's all love. Shout out to you, Kenny. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a weird time in wrestling, and like, look, I think one of the questions that Takara actually asked is relevant kind of to this. We were talking about like free agents, right? Let me see if I can find it right here. We're doing it live, pal. There was one, can't seem to find it. There was one question, I believe, about Natalya, but I may be tripping. Oh, here we go. I personally think I personally think after Natalya heads to AEW, I see Shayna Baszler leaving, not re-signing with WWE. She's another Daniel Bryan. She wants to travel, New Japan, do stuff like Io Sky. I'm not sure what Shayna Baszler's contract status is. I could totally see her like leaving WWE and doing that. I think she's definitely someone who would fit the bill for that. But one person that we know whose contract is coming up is Natalya, and her contract reportedly, according to FightfulSelect.com, is coming up very soon. And she was not at Raw this past week, as reported over there. And Trevor, the Owen Hart Cup is here. Like it could be the perfect storm.
Natalya, let's just be honest. Natalya has talent, has a lot of talent, and she's not really pushed the way she was pushed, the way it should have been pushed, I should say. She's a dynamite wrestler. Her technical skills are pretty sound. I think Natalya would benefit from someplace like AEW or TNA. TNA mostly because TNA has, I'll say this in front of everyone. TNA has the second best women's division in wrestling. I still think NXT has it down. I still think NXT has one of the best women's division in wrestling. Only because AEW doesn't use it the way they should. They're getting better at it. They're getting much better at it. But if AEW used their women's division the way they should, they'll probably be top notch. But right now, NXT has the best women's division. Period. I'm laughing at Kenny.
Kenny Bomb paying the Trev tax, the Trev tax here. Shout out to you, Kenny.
But no, like Natalya would be a good addition to anyone's roster, especially if you used her well. I mean, hell, if she wanted to just train, she could do that too. I mean, she's paid her dues at this point. She's that good. She can just train if she needs to, train people if she needs to. Like, but no, I could see her doing that. What is the status on Becky Lynch? Has she re-signed yet?
She's a free agent. As far as we know, she is taking a hiatus from wrestling.
Gotcha.
And look, we don't know what the conversations have been like. It would be hard for me to believe that people from AEW have not at least reached out to her representatives. Whether or not she's returned calls or anything like that, we don't know. But I assume that AEW has 100% made like contact with someone near Becky's orbit.
I'm pretty sure they did. They would be dumb not to.
You got to, exactly right. So we'll see. I mean, the interesting thing, just talking about Becky real quick, right, is you could make the argument either way. Like, right, she has nothing left to accomplish in WWE, and therefore she should leave AEW. But you could also or she should go to AEW. But you could also make the same argument, like, what does she have left to accomplish? Like, she's done it all. She's performed at the highest level.
The only thing she hasn't accomplished is win a title in another federation.
Yeah, but does she need to?
No, but it's like if Michael Jordan decided to go to the West Coast, right? Does he really need to?
Does he need to win a title with the Lakers? Could you imagine that?
Right, like that's what I'm saying. Like, did he really like LeBron? LeBron won one in the West.
Well, okay,
right?
LeBron's a different thing. He definitely needed those. He needed that title.
He did. He definitely did. You're right. But like I said, Jordan was the best one. Jordan won 6 with Chicago. If he went to the West Coast, what's it for? Like, does he really need to win another title, or is it just his ego, and is it just that the fans want to see another one?
Well, look, I mean, Michael Jordan probably should have just, when he bought the Bobcats, he should have just, like, put on the jersey, put on the shoes, because, like, that team needed him, and he wasn't there.
Oh, the Bobcats needed me and you, and I'm not great at basketball.
Hey, man, with Kemba Walker in his prime, we would have averaged at least 4.
At least
combined.
At least 4.
Combined.
But yeah, but you get what I'm saying. It's just one of those things.
Kenny, I don't know about that. If we count in merch sales, she might have been the highest paid woman in wrestling history.
Yeah.
Because those merch sales for Becky were through the roof
they were
2019,
crazy.
2020.
Yeah, they were crazy. When she came out and fought a bloody nose Ronda Rousey, yeah, that was crazy. No, I mean, like, just flat out, no, she's not the highest paid woman in wrestling. But
that's Mercedes.
With those merch sales, she probably is.
We got Kenny Bomb saying, sent me the close code for Def Jam game, Trev. It's still in early development.
It looked like it was, but it's still a lot of fun. If you haven't seen that video, Homer, check it out. It's the game looks fun. It looks
Nobody watching this booty that Kenny be putting out. Like, nah. Let me
Hater!
Stop. Let me stop roasting Kenny. I love Kenny. No, let me stop. So love Kenny Bomb. Guys, Kenny Bomb, great channel for game updates and that kind of stuff. Also go over to Kiss the Ring, youtube.com/Kiss the Ring. Another great channel for wrestling content. Let's switch gears though, Trev. Talk about Uncle Howdy.
Uncle Howdy.
Uncle Howdy. The Wyatt Six made their presence known again on Raw this past week. How are we feeling about the Wyatt Six 3 weeks in now, Trevor?
Here's the thing. So I'm a Bray Wyatt fan. I love Bray, love Bray. Bray Wyatt is one of my favorite talents in WWE. I thought Bray was far before his time. I actually liked Bo Dallas. I thought the Believe gimmick was absolutely hilarious. What he can do in the ring was never really, I guess, paid attention to or given credit for. The Wyatt Six, great idea. It's very interesting idea. Now here's the problem. Is it done right or is it being overdone? And the thing is, I don't know if it's really being done right because, yeah, I get it. I get it. Chad Gable, he disrespected his family, whatever.
They shot this man in the head, Trevor.
He should be not on TV. Along with like 15 other people.
Here's my case, though, right? WWE had an opportunity to make Chad Gable into the toughest SOB in wrestling history.
They did, and he looks like a coward now.
Imagine if he had gone in with a gunshot wound to the head. They could have been like, oh, it's a flesh wound or something like that. They could have worked already. It's wrestling. Like, everyone's calling it a gunshot wound anyway. Just roll with it. Be like, yeah, he got shot in the head. Well, it's a flesh wound. And have him come back, win the next week for the rest of his career. Chad Gable can say, I won a match after being shot in the head. Well, he did, though. No, he did. But like Trevor, they were like, he got bludgeoned. It's different.
Well, yeah, I mean, they
put him over. I get what you're saying. They're like, I got shot in the head and I still beat your ass. Come on.
They're trying to make it, PC type. But no, I get what you're saying. Like, say what it looked like. Because it looked like he got shot in the head. That's not what it looked like. Say what it looked like. He got shot in the head or he got it, like, whatever. And he came back and won the match. Now, the thing is, with taking away from the injury, I mean, he still kind of looks like he's strong, but when he starts running around, like, oh, I need my family. Now you look like a wuss. You don't look strong anymore. Now, and honestly, the Wyatt Six looks like bullies. They don't look like they have a statement to put. They look like bullies. Now, I will say I do like the promos that Bo Dallas is doing. Now, I love that aspect. Chef kiss. And how much he sounds like Bray Wyatt is absolutely eerie as hell to me. But he does sound a lot like his brother. That aspect of it is great. But I feel like, honestly, this would have been great to go against the new Bloodline, in my opinion.
I don't know about all that. I don't.
I mean, they suck, but they suck. But
you're
like,
trying to build. No, you're trying to build this new Bloodline to go up against like Roman. They gotta beat whoever their first feud is.
True. And they're not going to beat the Wyatt Six. No, they shouldn't beat the Wyatt Six. But yeah, I mean, but they look so stupid.
Here's the thing. I agree with you. I think the Bo Dallas like interviews have been some of the most compelling TV that WWE's put on in general over the past like year or so. At the same time, I'm struggling. And again, we're 3 weeks in. I will give it some time before I make like a final call about like general bootiness. But, which, by the way, great follow on Twitter, General Booty. General bootiness.
I don't know why we do this show together.
This is why. This is the reason, all right? Anyway, but like, before I make a judgment on whether or not this is good, I want to see what the motivation is. I think they're still building that out. Might be a slower build than maybe we want, but
I think he tapped into it a little bit this past Monday, where he was like, what was the language he used? I made them alive or something. I pulled them out. There's something.
I made them
similar,
unalive is what he did to Chad Gable. Also, they like, bro, someone took a shotgun and like shot Machine Gun Kelly backstage in that segment, like when they were debuted. You remember that one? The dude, the white dude with dreads. I was like, damn, someone shot Machine Gun Kelly. That's crazy. I didn't know Eminem was in the Wyatt 6. Anyway, messy.
I'm mad we had the same joke.
Bro said he had a kill shot ready to go. That's crazy.
I mean, no, it's just one of those things where, like you said, like the long buildup is fine, but I think it's time to say your motive. You know what I mean? It's time to give their motive. Now, like I said, last week, the Monday's episode, he pretty much asked questions and like, you know, what are you doing here? What's the reason? Like he gave somewhat of an answer, but again, it's still vague. It's still, we don't truly know.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's just like all the people. Chad Gable won a match after that beatdown. That's crazy.
But my thing is, why Chad Gable? Like Chad.
Because he turned on his friends? Question mark.
I know, and the thing is, I get that. After he said it Monday, I get that. But it's Chad Gable.
I mean, like, look, the people that were allegedly there: Ludwig Kaiser, Chad Gable, Braun Strowman, who I guess did he turn like maybe the Bray Wyatt thing there?
Really? Yeah.
Come on, like, what are we doing here? I mean, look, well, I will wait and see. But like, you know,
it's like I said, I like Bo Dallas, but I'm skeptical as well. So I hope they have good things with this, but we'll see.
RT the brand says, does WWE still test for roids? Randy said he's up to 295. Ain't no way. No, ain't no way.
He did say that though. He did say he was up to
100%. No, WWE could come out with documentation saying that they test for. I do not believe it for a second. I was at Survivor Series when Randy Orton returned. My first thought was, oh my God, it's Randy Orton. My first thought was, holy shit, what doctor is he going to?
He's huge. Randy's huge.
Bro, I had to come up with a new word to describe Randy. I was like, dumongous. This man is built.
He's humongous, as me and my cousin used to say.
Humongous.
That's a big man.
Humongous and dumongous. Dumongous. He's dumongous. That man is thick in all the right places.
I believe he's 295. I definitely believe he's 295.
Bro, I mean, yo.
I don't believe it's all him.
I ain't gonna tell him no.
I believe he's 295.
Bro, who got the guts to go up to Randy Orton and tell him he's not 295, bro?
You're not 295. What?
That punch is still gonna feel like it's 295.
Like, no, like I believe it. I mean, even if I didn't believe it, he wouldn't know I didn't believe it.
Randy said he's been eating. He's been eating steroids. That's what he's been eating.
Steroid Tic Tacs.
Him and AJ Styles. Like, God darn. I was like, I saw AJ Styles got that. He got the side pack going. His like 6-pack has a 6-pack, right? Like,
yeah, he does. He has like an 18-pack. It's ridiculous.
I ain't know muscles grow like that.
He has muscles on top of his muscles, man.
Did I say 2 C's? I meant 3 with Randy Orton. Excuse me, that man is big. Shout out to Randy Orton.
Yep.
CC said, them against the New Bloodline, nah. New Bloodline will lose hands down.
Absolutely.
CC said, Paul was right. Not my tribal chief. You know what? Before we get to Forbidden Door, let's talk about this.
We knew it had to happen, right?
It had to happen.
It was coming. We knew it was going to happen.
So look. Solo Sikoa taking over the Bloodline. They kicked out Paul Heyman. What are your impressions so far of the New Bloodline, and specifically Solo as a leader? Is he a good leader?
I like what they're trying to do with him. I do like what they're trying to do with him. They're trying to make Solo more relevant, and I like that because I honestly think Solo needs a personality. He needs to be built on. I personally like Solo. Should he be the leader of the Bloodline? Probably not. Because the way they're doing it, it feels forced. It feels forced. It feels like he's not completely sure of himself. And you have 2 people who technically are not Bloodline. And it feels like he has a shortage of family members, which is not true. At all. And just to let you guys know, there's gonna be more Samoans after this.
Someone put out a tweet, bro. It was like listing out the number of kids that like Roman, the Uso, like all the members of the Bloodline.
Roman has 3 apparently.
This story is going to last like centuries.
Just to give you an idea, okay?
Bro, Jacob Fatu has
7. He has 7. And he's 31.
Look, we want to talk about it. Sami Zayn's an honorary Roos. He's got a kid. This story is going international, multiple different countries.
Let me just give you a picture here. Jacob Fatu has 7 children, and he's 31, which means he could probably have 20.
That's crazy, bro. I'm nowhere near close to having 1 kid, and I'm almost as old as that man.
Dude, I'm older. My relationship doesn't need a child. You know why? Because I am the child.
Oh, you have a child, all right? You have Dobby, all right? Shout out to Dobby. But no, yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane because, like, so Jay was which one is not married to Naomi?
Jay.
He has 2. No, he has 2, right?
Jimmy has 2.
Jimmy has 2. Okay, Jimmy has 2.
I don't know. Look, I'm not. What are they got kids. There are little Usos running around there somewhere.
Yeah, there are a lot. There are a whole lot of them. Oh, and I know this is a sad thing, but we didn't say this, and she did point it out. Thank you, Cece. Rest in peace, Sika.
Sika.
Sika. We didn't touch on it last week. Roman Reigns has been like just off because of that, because he had to push his return back because of this. Rest in peace, Sika, and all the Samoan family. Rest in peace to my condolences to Roman and all the Samoan family dealing with this time of need. Thoughts and prayers. But at that same token, there's a lot of them.
Here's the thing. People are like, oh my God, like, oh, they got all this family coming. I'm like, look.
Because you still got
we want to be real. Two of the what is it? 4 people that are in the New Bloodline right now are not Samoan.
No, they're Tongans.
They're Tongans. And I mean, like, you can make a relation if we want to go like that far, right?
I mean, they're all Hawaiian though, right?
Because like they're all related to Haku or the Tongans. Gotcha. So it's like you want to make a relation with the Tongans and Haku, bro. This bloodline could be wild. This family tree.
I mean, and we're not even touching on The Rock, who has 3 children, one of which is a general manager.
And the other one I believe is like watching Moana right now.
Yes, singing her dad's song. And then you have Nia Jax, who, from what we know, has no children. But
yet.
Yes.
The bloodline, baby.
And then you have
Tamina. If you want to look, the Snookers, man.
Yeah, because they're part of it too, if I'm not mistaken.
Apparently, no, like someone like I think one of the Usos like confirmed it. Like, yes, Tamina is part of the bloodline. Like, oh man, we're going.
Because Tamina has one at least. I think she has at least one daughter.
I have no idea.
I think she has a daughter, but good lord.
This is
and then so who else is supposed to be coming in? It's Hikuleo, right?
So Hikuleo is coming in. He's the son of Haku. So he's another Tongan member of the Samoan. Anyway, and then we got then we have like Zilla Fatu.
Yeah, Zilla's the other one. Yeah.
And you have one of Rikishi's other sons. Then you got
Rikishi got how many kids?
Hey, look, Justin Fatu. It's gonna happen one day. Shout out to my boy Justin Fatu.
Oh my god, no. The Samoans are a baby factory, dude. They got like 17,000 children.
Bro, that bloodline is strong. I don't care what anyone says. You can hate the gimmick. You can hate the bloodline is strong. You can't debate that.
Oh no, man. Jeez.
Also, they got a lot of stars in that family. Like that is
They do. They really, really do.
Yeah, Kenny Bomb. Justin is on the way. Y'all know. Justin Fatu on the way. Put some respect on his name. Get Manu back in there. Let's go, baby. Get Manu back in there.
Exactly.
Also, did you know Hikuleo used to be Camacho?
I did not know that until recently, actually. Bro, I was a little upset by it.
Kenny Bomb told me that. Like, he was like, "Yo, did you know that Hikuleo was Camacho?"
Who told you that?
Kenny Bomb. I refused to believe him. I was like, "Hell no! Ain't no way this man is Camacho." Like, I found out. Oh, yo, WWE under Vince McMahon, extremely racist.
Yes.
Anyway, going back to the question, Trevor.
He went that way. This way.
Like, whoa, bro! Look at the roster on this family. Like,
Jesus,
the depth is crazy, bro. One of them, like, yo, Hikuleo's like injured for 6 months. I got you, bro. I got you.
What's funny is they can make their own basketball team. Screw a starting 5.
Bro, screw a team. They could start their own league. What you mean? Bro, they could start their own league, bro. That roster is deep.
Did you watch Deadlock Wrestling Podcast?
No, I don't.
Yo, first off, check them out. Deadlock Wrestling.
Shout out to Deadlock Wrestling.
They're absolutely hilarious. And they're a group of African Americans, actually. They're absolutely hilarious. Oh, no, that's not Deadlock. That's another one. Anyway, Deadlock, they're funny. Absolutely funny. They were talking about how Jacob Fatu is absolutely he's absolutely a thug, because he said who else on their promo smokes a cigarette? That's not allowed anymore. There's like every word he says is a cuss word. Like
he's gonna bitch walk your he's gonna dog walk your bitch ass.
Yeah, dog walk your bitch ass. That's what it is. And then it was like, he said, you know what? I'm not afraid of many people, but that man frightens me. Yo, check out Deadlock Wrestling Podcast. They are hilarious. So funny.
Shout out to him, bro. Shout out to him. That's funny. Okay, I guess like going back to the original question, Solo Sikoa as the leader of the Bloodline. A lot of people have said like, it's kind of missing something. Maybe he doesn't feel right as the leader. And I also am of the opinion that I think if they allow like Jacob Fatu on the mic in one promo, it's gonna expose Solo like bad. Because it is. Jacob Fatu is a star. Like if he will go as far as WWE allows him to go, like I genuinely he is a future WWE champion. Like he is.
From what I
main
heard,
event.
the only problem with him right now, he has a lot of indie issues. Like he has a lot of previous engagements with indie promotions.
Bye.
But
You get that WWE paycheck, bro. Bye.
oh yeah, I mean that's the only reason you haven't seen him on TV as much as you know. But from what I've heard, they're finalizing their contract. He is, but to piggyback on what you said, he is an absolute superstar. Like Jacob Fatu has had it since he started wrestling. Like, and the funny thing is, he said in an interview, "I didn't want to wrestle. I did not want to wrestle. Like, it was part of the family or whatever." And he's like, after he got out of jail, because a lot of people know this, he was in jail. And once he got out of jail, he's like, "Yo, like, I need to provide for my umpteen children." So he went to wrestling. Like, I mean, he said, "That's in my bloodline. My family did it. My father did it." You know, I went to it. I mean, but I kind of get not wanting to do something that your family is famous for or something like that. Like, that's part of the reason why I wasn't a police officer. Part of it. It was another reason. But my dad was a cop. My dad and my brother were both cops in DC. Great cops in DC. And well known. And I'm like, I don't want to live under that shadow. Like, I'm gonna do something else. So I get people drunk for a living.
The nectar of the gods flows through your veins.
But no, like, I mean, Jacob Fatu is definitely a star. Like, and he if they put him on a mic, like you said, he would definitely expose Solo, which is part of the reason why I'm sure he hasn't grabbed the mic yet.
I'm just telling you, man. There is a world here where we have the Bloodline Civil War. I've been saying this for a while. I truly believe that we are going to have a Bloodline Civil War story. And on one side, you're going to have Jacob Fatu, Hikuleo, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and The Rock. Give me this in War Games. And on the other side, you're going to have Roman, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, who at this point, like, the new Bloodline will have turned on him because their real tribal chief is The Rock. That's who this family, that family's going to listen to. So Solo comes back to the original family, and then that fifth member, everyone's like, well, who's it going to be? You're going to bring in another. You already have one.
Sammy.
It's the honorary Us, baby. Sami Zayn. He is, in canon, a member of the Samoan Fatu Tongan, all of this.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely is. The only reason...
Yo, Sami Zayn would be funny as hell in that family picture. Please, I need a picture of the entire, like, Bloodline family. Like, the next family reunion. Invite Sami Zayn. Invite Sami Zayn to that Bloodline family reunion, and just have
that Bloodline family cookout will be hilarious.
Sell that on pay-per-view, Triple H, if you know what's good for you.
Sell that. We'll watch it.
We will watch the Bloodline cook. That'd be nah, bro. I'm gonna hold up. Yeah, I'm good. Just hold up. I'm just gonna say something, Trev.
Okay.
Anyway.
You alright?
Anyway.
You alright?
They said.
Yeah, Sammy can't go there now.
Sammy won't be saying it, I'm telling you, but you gonna tell Roman no?
You can't. I can't come to the cookout, Roman. I'm sorry.
Oh, damn. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, guys. I don't know how we got here. We got Busted, RT plugging the Busted Open podcast. It's a good podcast. Mark Henry, Bully Ray.
Busted Open's a good one. I do like the Busted Open podcast.
We got...
You know who I don't listen to, though?
Vince Russo. That's who I don't listen to.
Yeah, I don't listen to him either. I don't listen to Vince Russo. I stopped listening to Chris Jericho, too, actually.
Oh, my God. it's just, bro. Talkies, Jericho, mom. I got sick of that intro. That's the whole reason I don't listen to it anymore. It's just like the intro. Talkies, Jericho, baby. I don't want to listen to Fozzy. I want to listen to Fozzy, bro.
But do that, I don't know.
Bro, you know who I do mess with? Stone Cold, bro.
I love Stone Cold.
The fact that this man refused to go and get a payday at Mania just so he could play with his cat is like the funniest thing in the world.
It's the greatest thing ever. Have you seen this cat?
Bro, Poncho and Stone Cold need like their own reality show.
Such a cute cat.
Stone Cold chasing him around like, Poncho, get your ass in the house.
Apparently he was a barn cat and now he's a pet now. It's funny.
He's like, God damn it, Poncho. Stop scratching me and being so cute.
He was like, I was worried about Poncho. I hadn't seen him in a while, but now he's here. Yeah, give me a hell yeah, Poncho.
I love Stone Cold, bro. Shout out to Stone Cold. Better than Hulk Hogan.
Dude, this pencil is better than Hulk Hogan. Oh, and it's also black. What do you know? Anyway,
Hulk Hogan had quite the tan back in the day. That's all I'm gonna say.
He looked like peanut butter.
One wait, man. One could,
not good peanut butter either.
A dry aged peanut butter. That's what
he looked like Peter Pan peanut butter. And anyone that ever had it understand that's terrible.
Peter Pan peanut butter.
It was awful.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a thing. I didn't envision it.
This is interesting. Oh man. Well, he was way more tan than this, if we're being honest.
That's sad.
Because they have a picture. They had a picture of him at MSG with him and Mr. T, and I was like,
I'm actually surprised that man didn't have skin cancer. To be honest with you, as much tan as he actually, it was crazy.
Yeah. I saw that picture of him and Mr. T, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. That tan is crazy. Oh man, he look, all the signs were there, Trevor, in the 80s. We just didn't listen.
Why didn't we see them?
They were all there. He was telling us loud and clear, brother.
Brother, you know I was a brother back in the day, brother, because my other brother Horace was a brother and I was a brother.
No. Horace is my dead brother. His dead father, brother.
Damn it.
Well, Trevor, there was a pay-per-view this past weekend.
It was?
AEW Forbidden Door live from the UBS Arena. One of AEW's probably best pay-per-views of the year. We say it every time. It's hard to argue with it, but AEW Forbidden Door, UBS Arena, fantastic show by all accounts. Insane card. There were 15 matches in total, 5 of which were on the pre-show. We will not be talking about the pre-show matches because, by God, we would be here all night. But a lot happened on this show, Trevor. What stood out to you?
Let's see. Honestly, besides, of course, the last match we're going to talk about, which was one of the things that stood out was, honestly, Zack Sabre Jr. and Orange Cassidy. My God. Such a good match. And it kills me how many people downplay Orange Cassidy when he's a star. He can wrestle his butt off. Like, especially, I mean, he showed that when you put him in the ring with Will Ospreay. Like, such a great match. That was a great one. And also, I mean, another one that stood out was definitely the Jon Moxley match.
Yeah. That one was an interesting one because, well, let's talk about Naito versus Moxley start off because I have a lot of thoughts on this one. So Tetsuya Naito and Jon Moxley fought for the IWGP World Championship, and Naito actually ended up winning this match.
Which I was a little shocked about, to be honest with you. I was a little shocked by it.
Yeah. And look, there are a lot of people who are criticizing this match. Naito did not seem, on TV at least, he did not seem too thrilled or whatever, or are we not motivated is what some people are criticizing it as. I mean, Naito is older, but this was definitely not as good as their match in Chicago earlier this year.
Nope, not at all.
I will say this, and this is kind of where the perspectives differ here. I was there live, so for me, and again, this is my first time seeing Naito live ever, so it might have just been me, Mark. Oh, like I was there, man. I was like, it's Naito. It's Tetsuya Naito.
Dude,
Naito.
I would have marked completely to see Naito.
I was geeking. The people next to me were just like, what is this kid talking about? And anyway, but so Naito and Mox have their match. People criticize Naito. For me, I thought the match was really good, but then when I watched it back, I did see what they were talking about. It seemed like the chemistry was off, like almost half a step each time they tried to do something.
Yeah, it was definitely something there, and I'm not sure if it was the age or if it was the chemistry, because although it was a great match, and I still stand by it being a great match, there was a step or two behind.
Yeah. Either way, Tetsuya Naito becomes the new champion. What this means for the G1, I don't know, because Naito is in the G1 as of this recording, and is he gonna face himself at Wrestle Kingdom?
I'm wrestling myself.
That would be there are a few people on this planet I would trust wrestling themselves. You know, I do want to see Bryan Danielson wrestle himself. I want to see that before he retires. He should just do it. Be like, all right, I'm gonna wrestle. He's just trying to pin himself. Put himself in a label lock. That would be really funny.
I would love to see Kenny Omega do that.
Well, Kenny Omega has literally wrestled a broom. Bro,
yes.
Go watch Kenny Omega in DDT. This man wrestled like a 9-year-old. He wrestled a broom. Yep. He was wilding back in the day, and he was putting.
It was hilarious. The 9-year-old almost beat him too, but you know.
Bro, Kenny Omega put that 9-year-old over. That was crazy. Moxley loses though in 1705. New IWGP champion. We'll see what this means though for New Japan moving forward. But let's move forward, Trevor, and talk about this ladder match. Fucking chaos this was.
Absolute chaos.
Like,
fun chaos, but chaos is nonetheless.
There were some insane spots in this match. I'd argue, like I believe it was Takeshita. He did like one of the most beautiful Blue Thunder bombs I've ever seen.
It was.
I believe it was to El Phantasmo through 2 tables. It was crazy.
Kenny Bomb said something on our on one of our comment sections a few shows back, and it was about Takeshita. How Takeshita, and I think we kind of agree with this, how Takeshita might be one of the wrestlers of the year, and by God, if he didn't prove that in this show, more people need to talk about Takeshita because, good Lord, he's amazing. He is so much fun to watch. He performs these moves with accuracy and beauty. Like, oh my God, just amazing to watch in ring.
Yeah.
Like I said, that Blue Thunder Bomb was one of the prettiest Blue Thunder Bombs I've ever seen.
The way that table broke.
It's, oh my God. Like, honestly, Sammy is one of the few people that actually still does a Blue Thunder Bomb. And it's still pretty, but this one is much better.
And Takeshita got the best one, man. He's got the best.
He got the best one in my opinion.
Shout out to Sammy though. But we had that. Mark Briscoe took an insane pile driver bump through a ladder. By the way, these ladders, these were not like the typical worked ladders, or it didn't look like they were. These were solid metal ladders that they were putting themselves through.
It was crazy. Like, it was snapping through it. Like,
they weren't snapping. This is how you know they were real. They weren't snapping like the regular ones do. The work ones do. They were bending.
Bending, yeah.
But
Oof, amazing,
this was
amazing
crazy. Throughout the match, many people actually were kind of hoping that Takeshita would win, which was, an interesting thing. Of course, Jack Perry ends up grabbing the belt. He is the new TNT champion. They're going with all of the elite having a world a championship belt. You could argue that Jack Perry deserves it given his work as of late, but did they get this wrong? Should Takeshita have won?
So here's the thing. Takeshita, because of the work he's been doing and because of just what I just said 5 minutes ago, yes. But is it wrong to give Jack Perry a belt? Absolutely not. Jack Perry has been doing love him or hate him, and we make fun of him constantly. But
What have Robert
he's been doing what he's been doing is on his heel run is awesome. And I honestly believe that he should have a belt. I love that everyone in this version of the Elite has a belt, and I think he deserved it.
Look, you can cry me a river if you don't agree with him. I'm Jack Perry, all right?
Jack Perry.
Jack Perry, you know, like that guy CM Punk. I don't like what he did, you know. He very disrespectful, so I gave him a taste of his own medicine. I'm Jack Perry, and I'm a TNT champion. Punk, how many times has Punk ever won the TNT championship? All right, I'm Jack Perry, goddammit. Thank you, Jack Perry.
This is why you watch us. I still don't know why you watch us, but this is why.
This is why. Well, let's get right going. So Jack Perry obviously won that match. We also had, as we mentioned earlier, Zack Sabre Jr., Orange Cassidy. This match was awesome. A technical masterpiece. Orange Cassidy getting tied up in knots multiple times, getting frustrated with Zack Sabre Jr., who was taunting him the entire match, it seemed like. Orange Cassidy ended up submitting to Zack Sabre Jr. 16 minutes. This was an awesome match.
You know, it's one of those matches where I kind of knew that Sabre was going to win. Kind of had a feeling that that's how the route they were going to go. But again, it doesn't make him look weak. It doesn't make Orange Cassidy look weak at all, in my opinion. Like, he put up a great fight against Sabre. I thought it was a great match. I mean, like I said, it was one of my favorite matches of the night. Amazing match.
Also, Kenny Bomb, I just have to say, that is not the same as the Jim Ross. The Jim Ross is a little bit... Look, the modern day Jim Ross is a bit scaled back. You know, they got the old school, like, my God, you're gonna do it, King. Like there's that. There's the old school Jim Ross, but like now he's like more mellowed out. You know, he's been doing anyway. But so now the new Jim Ross is kind of like a bit of a... Well, you know, God damn it, pal. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna do our thing, and you know, we're gonna go out and have some fun, Excalibur. Yeah. See, that's the new Jim Ross. Yeah, a little bit of that. Jack Perry, you know, he's got that on. Yeah, I'm Jack Perry, you know. I got a Texas accent. I'm Jack Perry. Talk like this. I got some mush in my mouth. I'm Jack Perry. All right, that's the difference. Let me be clear.
Kenny, why did you even ask?
He called me out for the impression. I had to explain the difference, so Mr.
I understand.
Kenneth Bombington understands. Anyway, going back to Zack Sabre Jr. Orange Cassidy. Personally, I thought this was like one of the best matches all year. Like if you were a fan of technical wrestling, this was the match for you. Like,
absolutely.
This card had a lot of great wrestling, but as far as technical wrestling, this was like the technical wrestling match. And Zack Sabre actually said it after the show. He said, anyone who doesn't see the talent Orange Cassidy is a fucking idiot. That is a quote. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Could not agree more. Like, if you're out there...
I don't understand why people call him a joke, why on wrestling forums they say he can't wrestle. I don't know what you've seen.
Because they all listen to Cornette. That's why.
I don't know what you've seen. Got
this guy with his hands in his pocket, and he doesn't know how to dance. Oh, I can't even do it. My voice is still flying. He doesn't know how to wrestle. I don't get it.
The man has had classics with Chris Jericho, classics with the Will Ospreay, classics with Pac. Like, the list
Kenny Omega. The
list goes on
and on and on. Another one, Moxley. Bryan.
And this is why I say he's one of my favorites to watch. I love Freshly Squeezed. He's an amazing talent that many people slept on.
Bro carried AEW's wrestling all through 2023 when they were all
On
focused on
his
storylines
back.
on his back, and they
In a
still
book
can't put some
bag.
respect on that man's name. Speaking of putting respect on someone's name, let's talk about the Wolf of Wrestling, MJF, who faced off against Hichinchero to open the show. Not much to talk about in this match, to be honest. I mean, being there, the vibe was great. Everyone loved everything MJF did, but there wasn't really much to this match. MJF kind of did his shtick.
Yeah.
He beat Hichinchero. We didn't really get to see what Hichinchero had. This was not necessarily a showcase match for him. He got more of that on Dynamite, honestly, in previous weeks than he did here, but I think this was just a match to get people going early on the show. They knew they were on Long Island. This is just to get the crowd pumped.
It wasn't necessarily a squash match, but it wasn't necessarily a match where you got a chance to see any really competitiveness from the challengers. So it was all right. It was what it was. I mean, it was good to see MJF back in form, but that's about it.
Where does MJF go from here, you think?
Great question. Does he go after the devil?
I mean, the devil's got a busted ankle still, bro.
Still, yeah. I mean, which is kind of fudging things up.
It's been fudging things up, man.
But, I mean, I don't know. The only way to go for MJF is up, but up in what direction is the question. Does he go directly to Swerve? No, I don't think so. Does he go to another championship? Maybe. I
think you're onto something there, Trevor, because what have they been teasing? What have they been teasing over the past few weeks? A little bit of MJF. He's been looking at someone's matches. He's been doing some stare downs with who?
Yeah.
Will Ospreay, baby. I think that's the match at Wembley. That's the match at Wembley. I think MJF, Will Ospreay. Tell me that isn't heat.
I'd watch it 17 times. that is a great match. But see, here's the thing: you're gonna have to give. I feel like you're gonna have to give MJF that belt.
Are you though?
I feel like you're going to have to. Now, here's the question though: has MJF reached the point where he doesn't need a belt?
100%.
If that's the case, then he doesn't need a belt. But I'm sure there are people that believe that man should be walking around with gold since he's been off, whatever. And I get that, but he's so popular now. He's so over that he doesn't need gold for recognition.
I mean, if they want to put gold on, they've got 8 belts. They've got 3 pairs of trios belts if they really want to put some gold on them.
They really do have 3 pairs of trios belts. I just thought about that. When I was watching one of the what's his name? Cage Christian's promos, he was talking about, what do they have? 9 belts? And I'm thinking to myself, they have 9?
They have 9 physical belts.
Jesus.
They need to unify those already, please.
Yeah, just even though the scissor belts are quite immaculate. I like the scissor belts.
Well, speaking of immaculate, the vibe was absolutely immaculate when Toni Storm made her way down to the ring dressed up as Lady Liberty herself. No, not the problematic superhero from The Boys, but the Statue of Liberty to face Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's World Championship. Mariah May was at ringside supporting both participants. This was a great match, fantastic storytelling elements to it, and it paid off with Toni winning, but all 3 women kissing in the end, and the person next to me was a little bit too excited about that. I'm just shout out to you, sir. But
I'm sure there was a couple people too excited. So, question for you.
Answer.
Do you like this? Do you like how they're telling the story? Did you like that storytelling?
I thought it was good storytelling. Again, I'm you know this. I like variety to an extent on a wrestling show. A lot of people hated the MJF Adam Cole stuff. Absolutely.
Right.
There are a lot of fans who hated it. Like,
I loved it personally.
exactly. Like, same. I thought it was the most compelling thing on AEW TV in those few months. Like, not even close. Like, there was and look, the ending, it was what it was. It was a horrible situation because you had both competitors like injured after that, and both so it fell flat. But I mean, everything leading up to Wembley was fantastic. I think the issue some people have maybe with like storylines like these, especially in AW audiences, like a lot of people like wrestling a specific way, which is fine. But I think AEW has done a really good job of balancing the variety that you kind of need on a wrestling show. Because look, I'm fine with having a wrestling show that's just banger after banger after banger, which this card was. But when you put in like one or two storylines that are like, you know, like I think this is like the perfect level of camp for something that I love. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard some people say they're tired of the Tony Storm thing, which each his own. That's on you. But I love Tony Storm. I love the gimmick. I still love the gimmick. It's not getting old to me. I still love what they're doing with him. With her, sorry. But no, I still love what they're doing with Tony Storm. I can see where some people, like you said, that don't like variety, don't like things that are different like that, would not like it. But I'm still a fan at this point.
Absolutely. Moving on, we had a winner-take-all match for the TBS Championship and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Mercedes Monee versus Stephanie Vaquer. Trevor, I thought this was like the sleeper match of the night because Stephanie Vaquer looked impeccable coming out of this match. Mercedes was playing into the negative reaction she was getting because, as the crowd chanted, "Fuck the Celtics," which I may or may not have joined in that chant as a Cavs fan.
You probably did.
Perhaps, mayhaps. But the crowd was very much in favor of Stephanie Vaquer during this match. I thought she did. Like, she's been a great wrestler, but this was like, I think, if this was an audition for mainstream American television, I think she passed with flying colors.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, she couldn't have been any better. I mean, she could have won the match, but she couldn't have been any better. Like, it was honestly an amazing match. Like you said, I love what Monee playing to the crowd, doing what she does best. Like, both wrestlers looked sharp, they looked crisp, but the story of the night was Vaquer. Like, she did amazing.
Absolutely. And then after the match, Trevor, we got the return of the night. The good Dr. Britt Baker made her return, interrupting Mercedes Monee's celebration. Man, oh man, it looks like batting down the hatches. We are getting Mercedes versus Britt Baker soon.
I can't wait, because that is going to be a barn burner, as they say. I can't wait to see it. Two women who are very good at what they do, very good in that ring. It's going to be fun to watch. So much fun.
You want to talk about aura too, man. Baker still got it, and then some. You combine that with the aura Mercedes has, bro, and even Mercedes couldn't help herself. Big old grin on her face when she saw Britt Baker. She's like, oh yeah. We are going to make so much money together.
This is going to be fun.
It's going to be heat. Like, this match, pardon the pun, is a Monee maker for damn sure.
Absolutely.
Trios match. Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb taking on Samoa Joe, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. Like half of my section, I took this opportunity to charge my phone. So
I went to the bathroom.
And Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree lost. Moving on to the other trios match on this card, because there were two and neither of them were for the title. Sorry, there were actually three trios matches on this card, if you want to count the pre-show. But we had the Acclaimed Max Caster, Anthony Bowens teaming up with Hiroshi Tanahashi, taking on Matthew and Nicholas Jackson and Kazuchika Okada. Thought this was a fun match. I mean, Tanahashi didn't really do much. He's older now. We understand that. Yeah. That's why he's kind of moved up into the executive position that he's in New Japan. He ended up taking the pin on Okada, but a lot of people were complaining about, like, oh my God, this didn't feel like Okada versus, Tanahashi. And I'm like, yeah, because it's not Okada's 2009, Yeah. It's not like 15 years ago. Like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, this match would have been heat. But like, Tanahashi's old.
He is. He's getting there, man. He's up in age. I mean, it was okay. It was fun. It was nice to see the pin. It was good to see he was in there, but he's old. Like you said, he's up in age, man.
Yep. So the Elite continue their victory road as we move on to the Men's Owen Hart Cup first round matchup. Shingo Takagi versus the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. This was a great match.
It was. I was going to ask how were you satisfied with your Bryan Danielson kick?
Yes. I would look. As long as he's not wrestling Jericho, I am satisfied with my Bryan Danielson kick. All right. The worst experience I've ever had watching a Bryan match in person was him versus Jericho at All Out 2022.
Oh yeah.
Stinker. I was so mad about it because I was like, oh, these two are gonna have a banger. Stinker of a match.
Such a bad match.
It was like, I was just like, boy. The most exciting part of that match in 2022 was the dude who screamed, "Hey, Jericho, where was your wife on January 6th?" That was the most excited I was in that match because I was like, that's funny. But this one was fantastic too. Crowd was into it. Shingo Takagi came to play. Bryan Danielson. They one thing both of these wrestlers did very well was like manipulate the crowd. They did a very good job of getting the crowd into it, and I think it made the match even that much better.
Yeah, like of course I wasn't there, so I couldn't see all of that. But like, yeah, they did a very good job of bringing the crowd. Bringing the crowd in, and making the crowd have fun with the match as well.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the final matchup of the night. This freaking main event, Trevor. Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship. Let me set the stage for you, if I may.
Please do, because good Lord.
This was an epic encounter. Will Ospreay coming out with a Hayabusa tribute, an absolutely beautiful video package that kind of, showed highlights of Hayabusa and then clipped it into like pictures or images, of Will Ospreay doing very similar things and similar moves. It was a beautiful video package. He comes out with the Hayabusa mask. I was the only one in my section who was chanting Hayabusa at the top of his lungs, but I was chanting it and it did not come across on TV, but I was there. Just know that I was like, Hayabusa. Epic entrance. The crowd was loud, Trevor. My ears.
Yeah, I could tell they were loud on TV, so I can only imagine how loud they were in the stadium.
When they did the thing during Will Ospreay's song where it's like, Ospreay. I was screaming, but I could hear in my ears, like my ears literally went like bing for a minute. Right. It was so loud. People love Will Ospreay. He came across like a star, and he is a star. And then we get most unexpected appearance of the night. Freaking Jim Jones coming out.
I literally was disappointed. But I get it. We're in New York. Makes sense.
I mean, you gotta do it. That was crazy. So we got Jim Jones coming out introducing Swerve Strickland, the mogul, the AEW World Champion. People were loving Swerve. It was his house. They do the big intro. This felt like a big money match right from the get-go. And it was. And what we got in the match was beautiful.
First, like, between the two, that first encounter, the flipping, the dodging, amazing. They well, of course they know each other, but like and that was just like the first 3 minutes of the match. And like, good God, what's the rest of the match gonna be? It did not disappoint at all. There were some great spots in this match, as I'm sure you know as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, let's just go through some of these spots. I mean, like Ospreay did a Hurricane Rana. He reversed a pile driver on the barricade into a Hurricane Rana to the outside. Ospreay at one point, Jesus Christ, I don't even know how to say it. Ospreay at one point hit a power bomb into a Styles Clash.
Craziest combination. I was like, wow.
Swerve hit multiple house calls on Ospreay, did a swerve stomp onto the announce table off the top rope, an insane looking spot that looked like it hurt. Finally ends up hitting a pile driver on Ospreay, hits him with a house call, and it garners a 2. The near falls in this match were insane.
It was absolutely insane. Like, I thought he kicked Ospreay's brains out of his head when he side kicked him in the back. Like, and you heard,
Which time? He did it like 80 times.
Like, good God.
I mean, these two, like, they went out there to burn the house down is what they did. Like, this was an insanely great match. I cannot say that enough. Ospreay ends up hitting 2 Os cutters to Swerve. One of them off a springboard off the top rope. And it garners a 2 count. Near falls again were the story of this match. And in the end, Swerve hits Ospreay with a hidden blade, and Ospreay then goes and tries to hit Swerve with his own hidden blade, ends up hitting the referee. Ref gets knocked down, which of course causes Don Callis to come out, who, as in casual Don Callis nature, hands Ospreay a screwdriver and tells him to murder Swerve.
Get him!
At which point, Nana, of course, pushes Don Callis, and Ospreay takes the screwdriver, almost murders Prince Nana until Nana's like, "Hey, baby, it's me, Swerve. It's me, Nana. Come on, baby. Yeah, hey, Dad. Why am I Dusty Rose? Why is my Nana Dusty Rose?
Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, why does your Nana someone Dusty Rose? It's me, baby.
No, actually, I was more Jimmy Hart. It's me, Jimmy Hart, baby. Anyway, so Nana's like, no, don't hit me, baby. Why am I doing baby at this? Anyway, Ospreay then goes into the ring. Swerve takes advantage of it. House call. Swerve stomp. Aubrey comes running down, the new referee. 1, 2. Ospreay still doesn't give in. Swerve doesn't know what he has to do to put this dude away. Ends up giving him another house call, another near fall, and Ospreay gets up. Crowd goes crazy, and we get a very similar spot to what we got in that Bryan versus Ospreay match at the end.
Yep.
Both competitors in one corner, but Ospreay reeling like he was out of it. He was wobbly, but he was doing his little fire up as much as he could. With every fiber of his being, rips off the armband, goes to hit the hidden blade on Swerve, doesn't have enough to muster, falls into Swerve's arms, at which point Swerve, with an almost like, do I have to do this look, pats him on the head, lets him go. House call, big pressure, 1, 2, 3. And still, All Elite Wrestling World Champion, Swerve Strickland.
It was a match, boy. I tell you that. So my question to you, and I already know the answer. Match of the year?
Yes.
I already know the answer.
All right, and for all you who called me a Bryan Danielson mark for calling that match between him and Will Ospreay, first of all, you're still a mark. You're a mark. You want to know your mark. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, like, look, it is. Even I watched it back now, and it is the match of the year. There is not anything that has been better than what they did. Because even like the Bryan match, the big knock on that was like, it wasn't for a belt, it wasn't for a number one contendership. It did not really have a storyline element to it, which it didn't need in my opinion, because it's just like, oh, it's Bryan versus Will. Money.
Exactly.
But this had all of that. And you combine fantastic professional wrestling, like next level, like in ring. This was the best match of the year. But you take it up a notch with the storyline elements, not only the Don Callis element, but also like this personal business, whatever it is, between Will and Swerve, and then Swerve at the end going off and kissing Ospreay on the forehead and basically telling him like, hey bro, it wasn't personal, it was just business. Like this was great. Like I will never be able to sing enough praises of this match. Like this might be
it was such a great match.
This might be one of the best things that AEW's ever produced ever.
Do you think that there will be a better match this year?
I have to see the card for All In, baby.
True.
I don't know.
But I love how you said AEW and nothing from WWE.
What, WCW? Oh, you mean
WWE?
I mean, like, no, there were great matches in WWE. Like, look, Roman versus Cody was a good match with next level storytelling. Next level storytelling.
I don't think there's gonna be a match of the year from WWE.
It could happen.
Compared to that,
it could happen. It would be very difficult, and it would require a lot, but it would happen. It could happen.
I mean, anything's possible. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Hey man, if they do Bloodline War Games, that might be it.
That might be it. You're right. That might actually be it. Yeah. If they manage to pull together Bloodline War Games, that might be it.
Yeah. But yeah, this was so great. And it's like people ask me like, the other question I should say is like, was this the best pay-per-view AEW's put on this year? I don't know if I would say all that. Revolution is just that is a whole nother like sphere as far as shows go. Like, cause just the match quality per match was just way better.
Right.
And also like that moment, like that last match was genuinely, I think to this day, like it is going to be hard for Tony Khan to ever produce anything better than the main event of Revolution, which was that which Sting's like sign off. That was the
right.
That, to me, if you want to talk about moments in wrestling, that was moment of the year for me.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree.
All right, but I think the other question here, as we kind of wrap up the show, Trevor, is where does Swerve go from here? We've talked about Ospreay, but what's next for Swerve Strickland? And the answer to that really is, who do we think wins the Owen Hart Cup?
And that's what I was going to get at. That, and when is Hangman coming back?
Oh, well, you want to talk about the Hangman? There is a wild card that will be facing Jeff Jarrett in the Owen Hart Cup. We don't know who it is. The Bucks have alluded to it being a former champion, someone they're very close with.
Yeah.
Read between the lines. I think we're gonna be getting some cowboy shiznit tonight, Tony.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I never thought I would tear up to anything Jeff Jarrett ever said.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. Yeah.
But that promo he cut about the Owen Hart Cup with Owen. Oh my God! I literally paused it for a second because I was like, I can't watch, because I watch it on Hulu, so I can't watch this. And I'm like, I gotta finish watching. I gotta finish watching it. It's like, it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So there's the one they showed on TV, but there's also like a 9-minute cut that they posted online. That was insane.
Yeah, man, if you guys haven't seen it, check it out for yourself. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, like, in a different world, like if it's not Hangman, I would love to see Jeff Jarrett win.
Me too. Absolutely.
Like, at least get one victory like towards that. But if it's Hangman, I don't think Jeff Jarrett's going to beat Hangman Page.
Nah, no. No.
But I mean, look, I think if the word is right, because the main event for the Calgary show, or sorry, the final, excuse me, for the Owen Hart Cup is supposed to be in Calgary, I believe July 17th, and
Yes.
it's going to be look, the rumor is that AEW has a big time main event for that match, or for that card. Like, the main event for that specific show is going to be big. I want to read between the lines a little bit. On one side of the bracket, you got Hangman Page. Other side of the bracket, you got the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And here's the beautiful part, people. Trevor. There's a world championship opportunity on the line. Hangman, we know, wants Swerve. But at the same time, I think we're all in agreement. Everyone just wants Bryan to win that damn belt already.
Yes. Yes. Especially before he retires.
Trevor, this man came out and did an interview recently where he says he never wants to be champion. I don't care. You know what we got to do, Trevor? Tony Khan, listen to me right now. Reverse Montreal screw job this man. Reverse it. No, like the other way around. You know how Brett wanted to keep the belt?
Force him to take the belt, Tony. Please.
Bryan doesn't want the belt. Here's what you do. Here's what you do, baby. You do one of those, like, Bryan has Hangman in the label lock for a spot, and Hangman just taps immediately. Boom.
Right.
And then Swerve, we get to All In, main event, Swerve Strickland. All right, Bryan, you're going to be doing this spot where you're going to, like, cover Swerve. And then, like, give me Aubrey Edwards. New champion. He did it. And
he's just like, what?
Like, I don't have many agendas when it comes to professional wrestling. I 100% have an agenda with Bryan Danielson winning the world title. I want to see that man as AEW world champion.
He needs a belt, bro. He needs a belt.
Oh my God, bro. Please, Tony. Actually, no, I think I got to convince Bryan. You're the best.
But Tony is the one you got to convince. You got to convince Bryan.
Bryan, listen to the sound of my voice. As your biggest fan ever, please.
I don't think that's a lie.
I think it's a lie. I got the Bryan Danielson flag here somewhere. I legit I bought a flag with the American Dragon on it. Bryan, as your biggest fan, nice. I need you to win a belt. Bro, like, and it's not just me. Like, everyone wants this man to just win the damn belt already.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Everyone wants to see him win a title.
And there's a story to be told. He wins it at the main event of All In. You have this amazing moment, Bryan's last run, and then he's going to retire probably in Seattle in the Tacoma Dome. Put on Swerve versus Bryan and have Swerve beat him in his last match. Winning the belt back. Smell that we cooking here.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
God, I'm gonna be so mad, bro. I'm gonna be so mad. I ain't gonna lie to you. If Bryan retires without winning that world title.
I think most people will, actually. Because I definitely will.
All right. Well, Trevor, what are you watching lately? What's going on?
The funny thing is, I haven't really been watching wrestling stuff lately. I don't know if you watched or heard about that new show on Netflix called Supercell.
No, what's that about?
So Supercell is about these super people with superpowers, and they're pretty much on the run because people are after them. And the great thing about them, everyone that has a superpower is black.
Hell yeah.
It's in London, actually, and the first season only has 6 episodes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, watch it because the secret to their power, it's fudged up, but it's interesting and it's in such a great way. It's worth watching, definitely worth watching. But you haven't even watched X-Men '97 yet, so
look, we are. I only have so many hours in the day, all right? Like, look, we are X-Men '97 is basically on hold until like after I'm gonna watch that in the fall, basically. Like after they get ready to like announce a new season, I will be caught up. I promise you that much. Because like right now, I'm like between The Boys and House of the Dragon, which by the way, oh my god,
I have to finish The Boys too.
Boys is so good. How far did you get?
3? Episode 3?
Okay.
For the new season, I think.
You missed 2. Yeah. You got 2 more to watch, but oh my god, man. I'm so blessed. Like Thursdays I can watch The Boys. Sundays I can end my weekend by watching House of the Dragon. Like this is
so great, isn't it? So good.
It's so great, man. Like look, capitalism doesn't give me much hope, but you know, it keeps me invested to getting to like specific days of the week without anyway.
What are you watching on this? So you just tell me. Never mind.
I got more. I mean, like I'm watching. I'm talking about. I watched that debate.
Oof is right.
Yeah, we are. But as my friend texted me during that debate, we're cooked.
Yes, it's just.
Anyway, who needs to talk about that? No one cares about that, brother. So, you know what I did watch? I did watch like a highlight package of Hulk Hogan and TNA. And there's just this one promo where like Eric Bischoff is like just like in his office, like minding his own business. Hulk Hogan comes and is like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm the Hogan, I'm a Hulkster, and he's just flexing. I'm like, man, I have a lot of respect for what Eric Bischoff did in 96, 97. But by God, man, like he is not a good booker of wrestling.
No, not at all. What happened?
I think did we get we got a little glitch in the Matrix. It's okay. It happens.
Yep. But no, there was something I was watching. Oh, I think it was actually Deadlock. And they were talking about this one thing where it was in WCW. Hogan was beating someone down and Bischoff had a chair and was gonna hit him with it. And like you see Hogan literally take a blade from his wristband and like before he even gets hit.
I remember, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, is Hogan the worst ever or what?
He is not a good wrestler.
I'm like, no, what just did I watch?
Here's the thing. Vince McMahon is a horrible human being. His biggest accomplishment ever is the fact that he got that good of a match out of Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior in the main event of WrestleMania. That
and it was mostly Warrior.
Like the biggest, adjusted for inflation, it's the biggest accomplishment anyone's ever had in wrestling.
Look, I mean, he couldn't have a good match against Mr. Perfect, and Mr. Perfect is by far one of the best wrestlers in that time period.
Maybe it's like an ego thing. Hogan can only like make money with people who are bad at their job but have convinced everyone else they're good. Like Warrior was
another problem with Hogan is he doesn't sell anything. He doesn't sell a goddamn thing. So that's the biggest
what
problem.
You mean, Hogan? Oh, my brother, I'm like, hey, you can't pin me. My arms are up.
Warrior pins him, he pops right up. Like
my favorite part is like he'll be doing like an extra kick out, like even if the guy doesn't pin him, he'll be like, oh look, hey, just so you know, like if he did pin me, it's like he's like conditioned. Oh man, screw Hulk Hogan. Anyway,
absolutely,
Trevor. Any parting thoughts before we head out, or anything else you want to talk about?
Oh man. No, today was a good show.
Look, this is the best. It's all downhill from here.
No, absolutely nothing.
So be sure to tune in next week.
I mean, don't get your hopes up. It's not going to be great, but
no, but that's why you should tune in. It's going to be crap, and that's what we get. It's going to change the name of this.
We have a tendency. We'll put out 2 bond burners, and then the next one's be.
Well,
And then we take a break and we come back.
That's what it is. This week we're presenting OT Graps. Next week we're presenting OT Craps. That's what we do.
Exactly. You know, hey, we'll see what happens. I might wear a Hulk Hogan t-shirt. I would never do that.
I would. Well, yeah, and that's when we get. That's the wrong. Psych. That's the wrong number. That's when we get this. You get cowboy trash the entire time.
I would never do that.
Yeah, man. We do have a party thought. Hey, look, be sure to tune in tomorrow night. We celebrate my TNT championship win from Jack Barry. All right, God damn it. I'm CM Punk. We're gonna be in Chicago. Oh wait, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Dynamite's gonna be in Chicago tomorrow.
It is. I forgot about that. Yeah.
God, it's interesting. It's good. The first time they're gonna be in Chicago actually.
Since CM Punk.
Well, actually, no, the second time because they did a Thanksgiving Day show there.
That's right.
But I mean, look, it's the first time Jack Perry's gonna be back in Chicago on AEW TV. We saw the last time he got booed out of the building, but he played into it very well. And it's gonna be interesting to see how that crowd reacts to Hangman.
Oh yeah. Be interesting too.
Give me evil Hangman, man. Give me evil Hangman. I hate you and your muffins.
Can't stand your muffins.
They should do like a promo where, like, in kayfabe, he like burns down Mindy's bakery. Like they should, like arson man, Adam Page.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
In kayfabe, Mindy's bakery. Don't ever burn it down. It's a fantastic establishment. Great muffins. But if you do ask about the wrestling thing, they will get slightly annoyed, as I learned. Because apparently they get that a lot. But I'm like, do it again when I go back to Chicago next time. So, guys, yeah, hell of a show, hell of a run. We're gonna be back doing it again live, as we do every Tuesday night at around 7:30 at this point, p.m. ish. Keep the night open, you know. We do it.
Keep it open, you know.
Hey, come on, get out of here. I'm a Matt Cardona. I'm a piece of crap. What do you want? Anyway, guys. Well, until next time, everyone. I'm Omer. Be sure to go over to youtube.com/OTGraps and subscribe. Be sure to go over on the Big X and follow Trevor at TREVERTAINMENT. That is TREVERTAINMENT, as it says right over there. Trevor, be sure to tweet every once in a while. Let the fans know what's going on.
Yes.
We've been plugging your Twitter for like 2 years. It's like,
when we get off, I'll tell you something, and you're gonna laugh at me. Anyway.
Well, look, hey, look. We'll do it later. I'm not gonna do the old. Anyway, all right, we'll do that. We'll do that afterwards. Yeah. Well, it's a great show. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. Be sure to put a thumbs up on that video. And until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.
Love those who are far, help those who are close. And just have a good week, man. We'll see you guys next weekend.
Hell yeah. All right.